Picture this. Summer is finally here. You're chilling in the backyard, the grill is fired up, your drink is cold, and life is actually pretty wonderful. Then you hear it. That high-pitched, incredibly annoying buzzing right by your ear. Seconds later, you get the inevitable itch. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking some fascinating new research that explains exactly why this happens to you. We'll start with the hidden science behind that familiar backyard annoyance, and then we'll dive into a very real emerging threat driven by climate change that might actually alter how we travel. Let's get into the hidden science of summer's biggest threat.
It's the ultimate summer mystery, right? Why are you sitting there feeling like an all-you-can-eat buffet while your friend right next to you barely gets a single bite? For years, this just felt like totally random bad luck. But scientists have actually been hard at work trying to crack this code. And it turns out the reasons you are specifically targeted aren't random at all. They are incredibly specific.
Section 1. Why does the mosquito choose you? Let's break down the exact biological mechanisms that turn a completely ordinary person into a glowing neon sign for mosquitoes.
So, according to mosquito researcher Rickard Ignell at the Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, a mosquito's hunting strategy relies on a two-step process. Step 1 is the long-range alarm. Every single time you exhale, you release carbon dioxide. To a mosquito, that CO2 is literally a dinner bell ringing in the distance. It triggers their hunt. But step 2 is where it gets super personal. As a mosquito gets closer, it becomes a remarkably picky eater. It uses a combination of your unique body odor, your body temperature, and even the moisture on your skin to decide if you're the main course.
And research shows just how ridiculously sensitive these bugs are to our biology. In a recent lab study, scientists tested 42 women to see who mosquitoes preferred. The results were wild. Pregnant women in their second trimester, specifically weeks 12 to 28, were heavily targeted. Why? Because during that exact window, women secrete a very specific odor profile that mosquitoes absolutely love. Humans actually pump out between 300 and 1,000 different odors. And scientists like Ignell have now identified 27 specific scents that act as incredibly powerful mosquito magnets.
Section 2. The blood type myth. Since we know odor and breath are the real culprits, we really need to address the elephant in the room.
You've definitely heard it. Oh, mosquitoes just love my blood type. I mean, we've all said it. But French entomologist Frédéric Simard from the Research Institute for Sustainable Development has thoroughly reviewed the data. And his takeaway is clear. The blood type theory simply does not hold up. He points out that while a few tiny early studies kind of hinted at it, there is absolutely no solid scientific foundation for it. Mosquitoes are sophisticated for sure, but they aren't scanning your blood type. They are strictly scanning your CO2 and your body odor. So, if it's not your blood type, what else are you doing to attract them? Well, a 2023 Dutch study gave us a pretty surprising number, 35%. They actually had 465 incredibly brave volunteers stick their bare arms into cages full of mosquitoes. And the researchers found that people who had consumed a beer within the last 24 hours had a 35% higher risk of being bitten. It perfectly aligns with what we just learned. Alcohol bumps up your body temperature and alters your CO2 output. You literally make yourself a warmer, louder beacon for the bugs. Section 3. The tiger mosquito invades Europe. Up until now, we've been talking about the relatively harmless native mosquitoes. But now we are looking at a much more serious threat that is actively redrawing the map. Meet the Asian tiger mosquito. Unlike the local mosquitoes we're used to that really only bother us around dusk, this is a highly aggressive species, and it actively hunts right in the middle of the day. Plus, it thrives in populated urban environments. Originally from Asia, it has now firmly established itself across popular European vacation spots, places like Italy, Spain, France, and Greece. And honestly, it's not just the annoyance factor that has public health officials sweating, it's what this specific mosquito carries with it. Get a load of this genuinely shocking figure from the UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology, 13 degrees Celsius. We always used to think that tropical diseases needed, tropical heat to spread. But this new data shows that the tiger mosquito can effectively transmit viruses like chikungunya at temperatures as low as 13 degrees Celsius. That's 2.5 degrees lower than scientists previously estimated. And with Europe warming at roughly double the global average rate, the geographical limit for these mosquitoes is just moving steadily north. Section 4. New viral diseases on the rise. Because the temperature threshold is dropping and the bugs are migrating, diseases historically confined to the tropics are showing up right where a lot of us take our summer holidays.
The urgency here is pretty staggering. Let's look at locally transmitted cases of dengue fever within the EU, tracked by the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control. We went from 130 cases in 2023 straight up to 304 cases in 2024. That is a massive year-over-year jump. And keep in mind, these are not tourists who got sick in South America and flew home. These are people contracting dengue right in Europe. The trend line is crystal clear, and it is pointing sharply upward.
So what exactly are these diseases? Well, chikungunya rarely proves fatal, but it causes explosive outbreaks and leaves victims with brutal joint pain that can stick around for months or even years. Then you have dengue fever, which brings high fever and terrible body aches. Now, there is a dengue vaccine, but its availability for general travelers from places like Norway is currently extremely limited. So just relying on a quick shot before your vacation, not really an option right now.
Section 5. How to protect yourself. We obviously can't control the climate or the mosquitoes overnight, but we absolutely can control our own defense. Public health experts stress that simply avoiding the bite is your absolute best defense. Point 1. Use strong repellents with at least 20% DET or icaridin. Point 2. It sounds basic, but just cover your skin with long sleeves and pants. Point 3. If you're sleeping somewhere without sealed windows, use a mosquito net. Point 4. If you're renting a villa, check the balconies and dump out any standing water in plant pots because that's exactly where they breed. And point 5. Use the air conditioning. Mosquitoes hate the cold. Now, experts say countries with harsh winters like Norway are safe from established tiger mosquito populations for now. But for the millions heading south for the holidays, these steps are no longer optional, they are absolutely essential.
We started off looking at why a mosquito chooses you for a quick snack at a backyard barbecue, but we've uncovered a massive shift in global health. With rising temperatures allowing aggressive species to march northward, carrying painful diseases right along with them, we have to ask ourselves, as the climate warms, will the carefree European summer vacation change forever? Is packing heavy-duty bug spray going to become just as normal as packing sunscreen? It is definitely a sobering thought, but staying informed and protected is our best move. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.